Hey guys, what's up? So today we are going to be doing a DUO NEX guide, and this is bonkers money if you guys can get it down, guys. According to the wiki, this is 15 mil an hour. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. You get one of those Torva splits or a horn, and you're both walking away with 150, 200 mil split each. But I'm teaming up with Tiger for this one, and he is an awesome DUO NEX partner. But for this video, I'm going to be assuming that you already know the basics of small team necks, and this is where we really push it to the limits, and we're going to be doing all the techniques, all the mechanics, and pretty efficiently. So you can see I got 16 brews, 7 restores plus a sandfew, and 2 range pots. And this is absolutely max range method. So I'm wearing full max range with a ZCB and a light bear. And my only other swaps are going to be the T-bow for the minion and the melee weapon to get our buddy out of freezes on phase 4. But here we go. So we're going to be standing as far away from possible and just killing her with range on phase 1. And we want to stand as far away as possible on 2 not opposite corners, but you can kind of see we're kind of corner to corner. And this is your setup for phase 1. Otherwise, when she runs at you, like you just saw with Tiger, you're gonna want to walk underneath her to force her back into the middle. It'll jump her back into the middle, and you only need to do that if she runs toward you. But otherwise, if she throws the cough at you, as soon as the cough finishes, drink up your super restore because your stats will be drained. So here we go, right? We got the cough right now. And as soon as that cough finishes, we are going to sip our super restore and get our stats back up. So there we go. Sip back up, get to 99. You can drink your range potion. If you have 3 range potions, you can stay fully potted the whole time. But I only brought 2, so I have to be a little conservative with it. But our goal is to just do this as efficiently as possible until she gets down to that magic number, that 2720. And I have it marked there on that corner quadrant, right? Just as a reminder. But as soon as she hits 2720, we're going to be killing the minion. And you want an open inventory slot by the time you kill that minion so you can throw your T-bow on without having to drop a potion. So you can see I'm preemptively drinking that brew, so I have that open slot up, and I'm throwing my T-bow on to kill the minion. At this point, always make sure that you're 99 range. And we're going to be killing the minion kind of in this coordination. See how me and Tiger are still opposite corners? Well, not opposite corners, but like separate corners. That's because she can only hit one of us at a time if we're like this, right? She's only targeting me. And every time she runs toward me, I jump her back into the center. Right there, right? So every time she runs toward one of you, and because she's targeting me, she should just stay targeting me, hopefully. I guess she could switch targets when she jumps back into the center, but see, we jump her again. Always jump her. And when that cough finishes up, always be sure to brew back up. Or, I mean, not brew back up. Always be sure to restore your stats. Get back up to 99. And we're heading into phase 2 right now. And in phase 2, again, we stay maximum range. We put back on that ZCB, and we do that little flinch method. See, we're both doing it. We're both doing the little flinch. And if she runs toward you, you have to jump her back into the center. Here we go. She's going to jump into the center. Boom. So it's very important. So just like in a normal small team where you don't want her to be standing next to you because that's when she's going to do maximum amounts of damage, you really have to be able to jump her consistently in a duo. Every mistake can cost a full brew, and we really don't have the brew. This is also similar to the Nightmare. It is an endurance test. It's not a super hard mechanic fight, but it's definitely an endurance test. And at the end of it, you will be running low on brews, so we can, and restores, I suppose. So we really can't be affording to be making a significant number of mistakes. They can affect either us as an individual or our buddy. But as soon as she hits 2040, because she's targeting me, I want to lure her away. So one of us, which is going to be Tiger in this case, is heading toward the minion to start killing the minion, and I'm luring next. I want to keep her as far away from Tiger as possible while working my way toward that minion so that I can start getting DPS on it as well. and we use the T-bow for the minion. So see, again, she can only target me. I'm max range away, so I'm taking minimal damage, and I can pray range while Tiger prays mage, right? And you're going to want to do a similar sort of coordination. So it's not top priority to be damaging that minion right away, but rather positioning Nex into a comfortable spot where only one of you is taking chip damage. Right? Continue to jump her back into the center, which is what I'm doing now, and when she's down, we're heading into phase 3. So when she turns us red like that, we need to run as far away, right? I think it's at least 10 tiles away, but we want to run away from her, otherwise she does a massive damage like a 30 or a 40, and she heals, and we can't afford to be in phase 3 for long. Because, like I said, it's an endurance test. We need to be speedy yet efficient at the same time. And when she summons one of those Reavers in a duo, we're actually going to kill it. So we kill that Reaver down, right? And we get back onto the boss. And what we want to do for this one is when she's targeting you, kind of step under the boss. You don't need to do a follow stall, but if you step under the boss, that's damage that she's not doing to either you or your partner. Right? So we can minimize the amount of damage done by Nex if we stand underneath the boss when she's targeting us. Use that time to brew, use that time to restore, and make sure you're ready to run away when she turns you red like that. But at this point, we're trying to get her down to that 1360, in which case we'll start killing the minion. So you can see, every time she targets one of us, we try to stand underneath that boss. Every couple seconds that you can stand underneath that boss is just time that she's not spending attacking one of us, right? And I thought right there that the minion was gonna spawn, but I missed it by a few health, so we gotta get back to that Reaver, right? Kill that Reaver whenever she spawns one of her minions. We have to take it down. We don't want it to be doing excess healing. Even when the Reaver dies, we don't want it to heal that boss back up, but we still got to get her down to that magic 1360 number in order to spawn her minion, and here we go. So we hurry up and we go to that minion, and again, we'll just stay away from Nex. Hopefully she only targets one of us, so only one of us takes chip damage, but it's all about worrying about your buddy as well as yourself. You need both people to be taking as minimal amount of damage as possible. If she runs toward you, you can always jump her back into the center. And if she were to get in the corner right here, for some reason she were kind of get between the two of us in this corner, we can both stand directly underneath her and hopefully jump her back to the center while we focus down the minion. But there we go, the minion's down and we're heading into phase 4. And phase 4 is the phase where the most awkward things can happen, you know. We got to be careful in phase 4 because this and phase 5 are where we're just naturally going to be taking the most amount of damage. So she put us into a prison of ice, and it's very important that your buddy gets you out of the prison of ice. It's completely on him. So every single time that somebody goes into the prison of ice, we need to get them out right away. Again, she turns off your prayer, so you got to throw your mage pray back on if she traps you. But the important thing to note is if she traps you or your buddy, right? But if you get trapped in that prison of ice and you're not going to be able to escape, your buddy's too far away or something happened and for some reason he's not going to be able to free you, you're going to want to throw your range prey on. At the last second, before that ice breaks, you're going to want to throw your range prey on. Because what would have been a 70, she would do a 70 to you if you're praying mage and your buddy couldn't get you out. If you throw pray range on when the ice pops, you'll actually only take half damage. So that brings a 70 down to like a 35, or a 60 something down to a mid 30. So here we go. She's actually about to transition and I'm getting a little too excited and ahead of myself and I'm ready to run off to the minion, right? But she just spros Tiger and I hurry up and double back to try and save him and he realizes I'm late, so there it is. He threw on prey range, took a 30 and had to start tick eating to get back into position for this next minion, and it got very scuffed at this point. He's chugging brews, I'm chugging brews and apologizing and let my prayer drop, so things can get really scuffed really fast and I get stuck in the ice. So this is an example of what happens if somebody makes a mistake, right? If somebody makes a mistake, it's very costly on your supplies. Look at how many brews I just had to sip right there. Look at how many brews and restores I just had to sip to get myself, and probably Tiger as well, topped back off. So if a mistake happens, it's really gonna hurt your endurance race. So when you're killing the minion right here, you want to stand very close to each other, preferably only 2 tiles apart, because that minion can actually freeze you, and you need to be close enough to your buddy to pop him out of ice if that happens and you're frozen and can't move. But we're moving into phase 5, the final phase of the fight, and this is where you're really going to get a chance to show off how good you are at follow stalling. She is going to be hitting you both non-stop, and you need to be a master of the follow stall at this point. So you can see every time she targets me, I'm going to be doing a follow stall for a decent length of time. We'll call it a long stall, right? And that gives Tiger the opportunity to chip damage her down. Now, Tiger's a pro, and he's really good at the step under method. So you can see the kind of method that he uses when Nex is targeting her, which is a kind of on-tick step under method. But personally, when she's targeting me, I like to do the follow stall method. It gives your partner a really good opportunity to do a lot of DPS, hopefully get off some of those ZCB Ruby Arrow procs. And like I said, at this point, we're just finishing off and hoping that our supplies last. And we're really good on supplies. I think I entered phase 5 with at least 6 or 7 brews. And that's really good. More than enough to kill the boss. But we're going to keep our ZCB on until she gets around 350 health or maybe a little bit less. At which point we will both be switching to our T-bows and finishing off the kill. So she's approaching that 350 mark, right? She's getting really low. At this point, it's just staying focused, getting those long stalls off, and chipping her down as quickly as possible. And it's all RNG at this point, just hoping that you can hit. Okay, so she's approaching that 350 mark. There she goes, and I'm throwing on my T-bow. I'm getting ready to throw on my T-bow. Here we go, T-bow on. She's got 200 health. And we just got to finish her off and get that nice loot, boys. You don't want to panic during phase 5. You want to stay calm, cool, and collected. Keep those follow stalls off. Don't let your health get too low. When you click underneath her to get your attack off, that's the best time to take one sip of brew. And she is down. There we go. We got a really nice supply drop. It probably won't be enough for a second kill in the same trip, but it actually replenishes our supplies, and it's pretty nice. And look at all these glorious combat achievements. If you can accomplish a DUO NEX, you obviously did it quite efficiently, and you'll get most of the combat achievements just by completing a DUO NEX. So that was great. That was actually a pretty good kill, almost perfect Nex. If I didn't mess up that freeze, and I got our buddy out of the freeze on phase 4, that actually would have been a perfect Nex. And most duos will be perfect. You will get the perfect Nex achievement when you get practice and start doing duos. But yeah, according to the wiki, this is a 15 mil per hour technique, and it's great. You can see the kills take about 10 or 11 minutes, whereas a small team 5-man takes about 5. So you're splitting the loot between 2 people instead of 5, and it takes about twice as long. So you're actually making massive gains and massive profits if you can step your game up from being a 5-man to a duo. But yeah, I hope you guys had fun. I hope you learned something, and maybe you're willing to give DUO NEX a try. It's actually a lot more fun than just a regular small team, and it's big money. See you in the next one, guys.